up, Coffee Girl? Good to see you. Let me know you can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Coffee. Thanks for hanging out with me. All right, welcome back, ballers. Happy Thursday night. Today is October 23rd, 2025. Big day in the news with Rig Ball, Unpoppin' Opinion says. Yep, absolutely. Coffee said that she just left Cody's channel. Yeah, I sent him the invite to come swing by if he is still up. I know it's late for him, just like for all of us, depending where you guys are at. So, yeah, Unpoppin' already getting to the topic at hand, the National Fixed League, or Nothing But Actors in this case, because we're going to be talking about basketball with a little touch of another sport. You guys might see the little image there in the thumbnail. But hello, Enthuse Streams. Good to see you as well. Thank you guys so much. Sounds like you guys can hear me okay, so we'll get started. I decided to title this one, You Can Bet on It. I bet 5 on it. I would have played that as the intro, but I don't want to get striked with copyright. But so for those that don't know, what's been buzzing in the news today had to do with two NBA players, one current, one former. First being the Hall-of-Famer Chauncey Billups, who's here on the left, and Terry Rozier here on the right. I got to say, disappointed Chauncey. I was a big fan of his growing up as a diehard basketball fan. I remember when he won a championship with the Detroit Pistons back in the day, taking down the team I hated growing up, the Lakers. So that was fun to watch. But then he ended up playing on my Clippers years and years later when he was too old to play anymore. But anyway, so this is what we're talking about tonight. The feds reveal that there's mafia-linked gambling probe that led to the arrests of Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, a.k.a. Mr. Big Shot, and NBA star Terry Rozier. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of these players, current and former, individually, as well as show you guys numerically why this news broke on the day that it did, and why these particular individuals are involved with this story, with a couple little tips and twists, if you will, towards the end. So please make sure to stick around. So first, we're going to take a look at Chauncey Billups' birthday. As you guys should know by now, when it comes to dissecting the codes and things about how, the world of sports and sports gambling, pun intended, but also just any type of news story that breaks out, not just sports. But you always got to look at birthdays. You always got to look at death dates, especially as you start thinking more about how much bigger can this be about, and I'll get into that in a minute. But Chauncey Billups was born September 25th, 1976. So one of the very first things I did was take a look at, okay, well, so how many days after his birthday did this news break? And sure enough, it was 28 days, just like his last name equals, or Billups equals 28, right? Just like wagers, kind of like how when you put chips on a table, you're wagering, just like if you're betting on a sports game, you're wagering. But think about just his name, right? Bill Ups. You want to up your bills when you gamble. You see what I'm saying? So it started there. And if you flip it the other way, if you measure from when this news broke to his upcoming birthday in 2026, that's a span of 337 days, which matters because that is the 68th prime number. And you'll notice with all of my slides here today that we're only going to focus on the 4 base ciphers. So English ordinal, Pythagorean, and then the same in reverse. So just notice that 337 days before his next birthday, 68th prime. He's a former basketball player, which equals 68. Basketball specifically. Rigged sports equals 68. And high rollers, right? You place wagers, and if you place big wagers, you're a high roller, right? Now, just his full name alone in the reverse cipher equals 271, which matters because it's the 58th prime. And sure enough, in Pythagorean reduction, Chauncey Billups equals 58, just like sports betting. Oh, yeah, high rollers too. We already talked about that, didn't we? So I should have maybe put a different slide before the next one to kind of slow drip where I'm getting at. But when you guys think of other big names in sports, um, alive or deceased, who do you guys think of? I mean, in the world of basketball, right? I mean, Michael Jordan's the most obvious one. But beyond that, let's just not forget about Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, right? We've been kind of the latter half of this year talking about Charlie Kirk all this time. But that matters because Pete Rose, I had to look into him because he's one of the biggest names when it comes to just rigged sports, corrupted sports, scripted sports. And a lot of us know how important this 201 number is. I could go on and make slides for days about how much it's related to the Catholic Church and the Jesuit order, etc. But once again, focusing on Chauncey Billups' birthday, well, all I had to do was measure from Pete Rose's birthday, and sure enough, you get that 201, right? Just like scripted sports. Okay. Now that's the high level stuff with Chauncey. This live isn't designed to be extremely long. So if you guys missed the beginning as you're jumping in or whatever, please make sure to rewind it back. It'll be short. So we talked about Chauncey and we talked about Pete Rose. Well, what's the other player that we're going to be talking about? Terry Rozier? Rozier. Terry Rozier. The only other player that's involved with this main news story today, right? And I already talked about how Chauncey Billups is tied in with Pete Rose. Interesting. So you got Chauncey, you kind of got an invisible ghost right here of Pete Rose, and then now you got Terry Rose here. We also talked about the 28s already, didn't we? Well, for another 28, let's take a look at Terry Rozier's birthday, March 17th. St. Patrick's Day, huh? Interesting. Let's measure up to Pete Rose's birthday, 28 days, just like the 28 I opened this presentation with. And once again, wagers, 28. And that 201, the Jesuits and all that, there's a reason why Pete Rose has that 144 birthday, am I right? So we're getting towards the end already. Like I said, I want to keep this short and sweet, but I wanted to emphasize some visuals. So, I mean, when you think about St. Patrick's Day, right? What's maybe a slogan that might come into mind when we talk about sports gambling? When you're gambling, right? Hopefully you get lucky, right? You want to get lucky. As they say, sometimes it's what is it? It's better to be lucky than good, something like that. So, of course, Terry Rozier has this March 17th birthday, St. Patrick's Day. I don't know exactly where this image came from, but you guys get the point. Play Luck of the Irish and win pots of gold. Isn't that the whole gist of gambling in general, whether it's with a sports bookie or at the poker table? And you guys aren't going to believe this. So look at this, you guys. We measure from Terry Rozier's last birthday on St. Patrick's Day up to today's date when this news broke. Well, 221 just so happens to be the 173rd composite number. And shout out to Ricky for this one. She has been very persistent on continuing to show me codes over and over again about how persistent and how common the composite numbers, how powerful the composite numbers really are. So, I mean, talk about a perfect numerical alignment. This news broke exactly 221 days after his 17/3 birthday, right? And 221 is the 173rd composite number. You guys see that? It's really just about how the date is written, right? And buckle up for this one. Terry Rozier lie tattoo conspiracy, right? We just talked about his birthday can be written 17/3, but in the United States, they read it 317, right? So in a recent pregame interview, I don't know how old this is. I don't know exactly when he got this tattoo. To me, there was enough dates that I wanted to share anyway. So apparently he himself said that another meaning of the tattoo is that upside down 317 is the word lie. Yeah, obviously, right? And he says that's what kind of world we live in, a big lie. Another example of them telling you straight to your face. And I think most people would just laugh it off and go, "Oh, ha, ha, coincidence," um, and or just be like, "This guy's crazy, getting a tattoo on the back of his head or whatever." But to just show that image, right? You just flip that image upside down, you're going to see the word lie essentially stamped on his head. So that really matters because take a look at all of the numbers that equal 113. Okay. I wanted to emphasize the 113. Where was it? Shoot. I must have missed it and it might have escaped me, but we're just talking about 113 here. Oh, here's what it was, right in the middle. I wanted to get the National Basketball Association to be put right here at the top. But once again, you guys, we're talking about a current and a former player of the National Basketball Association, which equals 113, the 30th prime, hence why there are 30 teams in the NBA. Other names like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant both equal 113, kind of like how Kobe was drafted round 1, pick 13 of his draft, et cetera, et cetera. But look how powerful the number 113 is when it comes to just the themes of deception, okay? Words and phrases like not true, dishonest, green screen, perjury, illusions, bullshit, all equal 113. Guess what? Oh, Pete Rose equals 113 as well, huh? Interesting. Pete Rose, Terry Rozier. Not honest, and the number for dishonesty also equals 113. Once again, this is all in the base ciphers of gematria. Quick lesson, ordinal is simply A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Reduction is simply the same exact order until you get to the 10th letter, where you add the 2 digits, 1 plus 0 equals 1. And then the other 2 ciphers, you do the same in reverse, meaning A is 20, or A is 26, back to Z is 1, etc. Now, lastly, we're going to close on some symbolism and some very, very interesting coincidences. We talked about how Terry Rozier has that St. Patrick's Day birthday, right? The luck of the Irish, being lucky to win a pot of gold, etc. The same idea as far as the world of gambling. Well, what if I told you that not only was Terry Rozier's birthday also St. Patrick's Day, but he was drafted by the Boston Celtics, okay? The one team in the league that has the clovers, right? The lucky clover. Well, what if I told you that Chauncey Billups was drafted by the Celtics as well, right? So Bill Ups, you want to get your bills up. Terry Rozier, both have that same draft team, if you will. And even further, I don't have much else to go off of this, but when I was assessing these 2 photos, obviously I cropped this just to show the players, but there's something super bizarre too, that if you look at the players that they're standing next to when they were drafted, there's like, look, it's just the reverse, right? So in other words, Billups is standing next to the number 12 with the Celtics when he gets drafted. And then you kind of flip it, right? You just essentially reverse this, fast forward. Now you got Terry Rozier wearing number 12, standing next to a player with the last name Mickey, wearing double 5s. By the way, Chauncey Billups' birthday is 5 days apart from the death date of Pete Rose, so you got that too. But yeah, just think about that. Billups 5, Rozier 12. Billups standing next to 12, Rozier standing next to 5s. That's to talk about the odds of even just something like that. I mean, there's so many different factors that you need to play in to really consider the odds of that. But once again, I wanted to keep this presentation short and sweet, to the point. If you guys have anything else to add with just kind of the inversion here of the pictures of when these two players were drafted by the same team. Let me know. Let me know what else you guys find, because there's definitely got to be something there. So without further ado, I will wrap it up. I'll just check the comments here really quick. See if you guys had anything else to add. Chime in with my findings. Unpoppin'. Appreciate the emojis. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Forgot Billups was a Celtic. Yeah, that was his draft team. He played for a lot of teams. He played for the Knicks, played for the Clippers, like I mentioned. I would say best known for his time in Detroit. And that's the other thing, too. For those of you guys that don't know, he's also the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers at the moment. So that's kind of funny. And the Enthused Dream says, win pots of gold, a storm is coming. There's definitely some currency themes going on here, isn't there? Money, right? Money is only as valuable as we give it value, right? So anyways, we'll leave it there, just right at the 17-minute mark. Perfect. I know it's late for most people out there, so I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you guys haven't been following my work yet already. I really appreciate it. Doesn't cost a thing. You guys don't need to gamble for that one. But other than that, we'll see you guys again soon on the next one. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Peace.